We spend about a third of our lives asleep, and if you practice Dharma, it's vital not to waste this time, but to use it productively. In this video series, we'll explore how lucid dreaming and Tibetan dream yoga can aid your practice. My name is Dmitry Dechen. I've been practicing lucid dreaming for over 20 years. I also graduated from the School of Tibetan Medicine under Rinchen Tenzin Rinpoche. So in these videos, we'll also look at how Tibetan medicine can improve your sleep. What exactly is lucid dreaming? As the name suggests, it's a dream where you're fully aware that you are dreaming. Thus, you can do anything: fly, visit other worlds, or create your own, transform anything in the dream, meet teachers, receive teachings, and so on. The possibilities are truly limitless. For a long time, Western scientists thought lucid dreaming was impossible, until the 70s, when Keith Hearn and Stephen LaBerge independently proved it exists. They conducted an experiment. They took a group of subjects who could lucid dream and gave them a specific task. Once you realize you're dreaming, perform a specific sequence of eye movements. For example, 3 times up, then 3 times to the left. Why was this necessary? Because during REM sleep, when we dream or lucid dream, our entire body is paralyzed except for our eyes. So the scientists observed 2 key things in this experiment. First, the EEG proved the person was asleep and in the REM phase. And second, that they performed the prearranged sequence of eye movements. That is how this phenomenon was scientifically proven. What kind of possibilities does lucid dreaming actually open up? Let me tell you a story that happened to a friend of mine. She had a suitor who was a very advanced practitioner of lucid dreaming. One night, she dreams he comes and gives her a bouquet of white flowers with one purple one in the middle. Then she wakes up and sees a message from him. "I didn't know which color you liked, so I gave you white flowers and one purple one." She was stunned because she hadn't told him about the dream. He had actually entered her dream and sent her that image. I'm not saying you'll enter dreams after 2 months, but with long-term practice, such things become possible. However, I don't suggest focusing on that now. We'll discuss the differences between the Western and Tibetan approaches to lucid dreaming. In the West, lucid dreaming is often used for entertainment or to have unusual experiences that are impossible in real life. For instance, many people really enjoy flying. In a lucid dream, this is very easy to do. Lucid dreaming can also be used in psychotherapy. Lately, quite a lot of research has been done on this topic, such as how they can help with post-traumatic stress disorder or recurring nightmares. What's the essence? In a lucid dream, a person reproduces that trigger, that event that caused their illness, and reworks its ending or scenario. And in this way, they can get rid of this negative event, their reaction to it, and be cured. The same can be done with any nightmares. If you realize that a dream is a dream, then no nightmares can affect you. They can't influence you, and you simply realize their illusoriness. But we'll talk more about this in one of the next videos. And most importantly, why does a Dharma practitioner need this? After all, the goal isn't to have fun, visit other planets, fly, or do anything else you like. Tibetan Dream Yoga teaches us to recognize that all reality is like a dream. As Tenzin Wangyal Rinpoche said, the goal of the practice is liberation. One must have the intention to realize that which resides completely beyond dreams. Teachers say, you need to practice 24 hours a day. But if you only practice for a short time during the day, and in the evening you go to bed, fall into total unconsciousness, wake up in the morning and don't remember what you dreamed, and a third of your life is wasted. Another of the most important goals for which Tibetan Dream Yoga is practiced is preparation for the bardo. Bardo, if anyone doesn't know, is the intermediate state between death and a new birth, and in its structure, it's very similar to a dream. Frightening visions arise there, a lack of control, a lack of understanding of what's happening, and unconsciousness. And if we've learned to recognize ourselves well in dreams during our lifetime, then we'll be able to do it in the bardo as well. And at the very least, we can obtain a new birth in a good place and continue practicing the teachings. And at most, we can achieve complete liberation. Another goal of the practice is to weaken fears and attachments. In dreams, emotions manifest very vividly, and if we learn to recognize them as illusory, then we can transfer this skill into everyday life, and thus weaken their influence on us, and accordingly, the suffering from these emotions. One more point that is very often overlooked. In the Tibetan approach, we have ethics and motivation. This is the attainment of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. In the Western approach, however, these things are not at all mandatory. Thank you for your attention. In the next videos, we'll look at the physiology of sleep and why it's important to understand it in order to practice lucid dreaming.